Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on your community station in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM. We welcome you. Also, those joining us through our various online outlets, we're glad that you all could be with us as well. I am really excited to welcome back to our program today Grammy Award-winning recording artist and actress Stephanie Mills. She's not only someone who's been able to celebrate decades in the business, but also someone who is looked at as an example really of what longevity looks like and a great career. We're going to talk to her not only about the reflection of her journey, but also she's gearing up for a very big event this Saturday in Atlanta, Georgia, where she's going to be joining some other great artists, including Debarge and Stokley of Mint Condition. I'll fill you in on all the details about that and let you all know how you can get your own tickets. But Ms. Mills, hello to you and welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Cyrus. Thank you so much. It's nice to talk to you again.
Oh, the pleasure is definitely all mine. You know, I told people after our first conversation, I have to say, I was so surprised by you, Ms. Mills, because, you know, as we were talking last year about, you know, your career and all you've accomplished, I mean, the humility that you have when it comes to yourself and your achievements, to me, is really an example for all of us as to how we should see ourselves. I mean, as you kind of look at, though, as I said, you know, here you are 40 years in the business. I mean, do you still have those wow moments when you kind of look at not only what you've achieved, but also the things that are still unfolding for you?
You know, I kind of don't look back. I appreciate and I enjoy so much what I do. I enjoy live performing. I enjoy doing theater. And I'm thankful that I'm able to still do it and enjoy it. And I still get nervous. I still get very nervous when I go on stage. And I like that feeling because that means I'm not tainted. I'm not, you know, I don't take it for granted.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, you know, that in itself says so much as well, because as I said, the last time you and I spoke, it was right after the Wiz Live. I mean, what a remarkable response you all had from that. And, you know, of course, people were glad to be able to see you. Exactly. Glad to see you there. Of course, we got to know you as Dorothy, of course, in the original production of that. I mean, I think, you know, as people kind of talk about you and the songs that you are known for, I think, you know, for my mom, you know, there are so many songs that she remembers you for and, you know, she still loves to sing. I think that the generations you've been able to touch is another remarkable thing. What has that been like for you to kind of look out in the audience and to see these people, you know, you have these parents who also have their kids there that all love your music and can sing your music?
It's mind-blowing because when kids come up to me and say, I know who you are, or I like your music, I'm like, you're too young to know who I am, but their mothers teach them and play my music. They say, yes, my mom plays your music all the time. So that makes me feel really, really good that I'm reaching this generation.
Right. And another way you've been able to do that, Ms. Mills, of course, is because of social media. And I think, you know, having a presence there has definitely helped people to kind of be able to stay connected with everything going on with you. What has that been like for you to kind of maneuver, to kind of think about how now in real time we are able to stay connected the way that we are?
I love it. I love Twitter. I love Instagram. And, of course, people can follow me on I Am Stephanie Mills. But I like being able to wake up sometimes and just say good morning because I call my fans love bugs. And I like being able to say love bugs. I don't like I use mine purely for professional reasons only. I don't like the personal side so much, but I love it to be able to tell them when my shows are, if I have something coming out, or if I've heard a song that I love, like I loved a Babyface's album and I was able to put on there. I love Babyface. I love following Snoop Dogg and Diddy and Jay-Z and all of them. I really do like that.
You're right. And the support that you give to others, I think, is another thing that, again, we can all learn from. I mean, that sisterhood and the bond, especially supporting other women in the business, has that always been something you knew you wanted to do?
Absolutely. I would love to do a tour with me and some of my sister friends. I think it's very, very important that we support each other. I don't think that we should be jealous of each other or throw shade at each other because we're all uniquely different. And there's enough out here for everybody. So I really always try to support.
Right. I'm so glad you said that about supporting one another. On August the 11th on Instagram, and as you mentioned, people can follow you there at I Am Stephanie Mills, you posted a meme that I wanted to share because I think so many times we kind of get caught up in this whole thing of what someone else has versus what we have. And the meme said this: don't be distracted by people who hate you because they think they deserve the success you're getting for the work they didn't do. And I thought, coming from you, we have to really take notice of that because you have definitely paid your dues. You have, of course, the awards to be able to show for the work that you've been able to do, the audiences, the fans around the world, and that love. I mean, what do you think keeps it fun for you, Miss Mills? I mean, you've been doing this for quite some time. What is it that keeps music fun?
This is the only thing that I've ever done my entire life, and my assistant Trina and I were talking about this today. It's like people think that this is easy and it's not work. But this is the hardest thing you can do is to keep yourself relevant, to not lose your mind in this business. So many of my friends have not made it. I'm 60 years old, and so many of my friends did not make it to 60. And this business is very seductive, and there's not a lot of honest people in this business. So I think what keeps it grounded for me is my faith. And I live a very simple life when I'm not on stage, when I'm not doing what. I keep my life very simple.
Right. What do you think has helped you to do that? Is it also your faith when it comes to living a simple life?
My faith and just staying true to who I am and not living too big. Because I love what I do, but I don't do it for the fame. I've never done it for the fame. I really love to just sing and perform and be out there with my band and other entertainers. I just recently took my son to see Bruno Mars, and we had such a great time because Bruno Mars is his favorite. So I went to see him. But I just love doing simple things, and I think if you keep it simple and you don't get caught up in the hype, don't get caught up in thinking that you're better or of course we're blessed and we're privileged. We live a very privileged life. So to me, I think we should always stay humble.
Right.
Because it doesn't have to be. This doesn't have to
it doesn't have to.
And then when you see, it doesn't have to be, and when you see people get caught up in the drugs and the things that they can't handle, and because it's a lot of, I've had my trials and my tribulations, and I'm not trying to make it sound like everything in my life has been easy, but I've always tried to adjust and just keep, but the one consistent thing in my life that has kept it good for me is my faith in God.
Yeah. And again, that's a great reminder for all of us. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome back the one and only Stephanie Mills to our program. You know her not only as a Grammy Award-winning recording artist, but also, of course, she's a celebrated actress. And she mentioned earlier, of course, you know her work from Broadway as well. She's gearing up for a big event taking place in Atlanta this weekend. It's Saturday, September the 30th at the Wolf Creek Amphitheater. They're already having great projects out there. They have all throughout this year. The event that Ms. Mills is a part of is called A Night of Classic R&B. She's going to be joined by Debarge and also Stokley from Mint Condition. You mentioned, artists like Bruno Mars. Yeah. I mean, talk to us about this event that you're gearing up for. I mean, you have respect for these artists. What is it like for you to be able to share the stage with them?
Oh, my God, I love Debarge. I love the Debarge family. I followed them. I lived in Los Angeles, and they lived in Los Angeles. And, of course, I love Stokley. He has a new song out that's doing very, very well for him. And, of course, he's the lead singer of Mint Condition. So I love it when I can perform with great artists because I consider them great artists. And they've survived. Debarge has definitely survived. And that's in that itself you have to give him respect.
Yeah. And you're right about Stokley. We've been playing his single Level here on the radio here in Mississippi. People love that song. And the question we get all the time is, who is that? And I'm like, it's Stokley from Mint Condition.
It's Stokley.
I mean,
It is Stokley, yes.
Yeah. And as you're out here performing, of course you're performing the songs that people have gotten to know you for. You said something interesting I want to go back to, though, Ms. Mills, and that was the nervousness, because I think, again, that says so much about the appreciation that you have. I mean, does part of the ease come when you are out there and you feel as though you're among your friends when you look out there at your fans?
Well, you know what? I get nervous when I go on stage, and I think it's wonderful to get nervous because you really don't know how the audience is going to respond. And when they show me so much love, it's just, overwhelming. Sometimes I get really full, and want to cry, but because I've been around so long, and to see people still appreciate my music and appreciate my performance, it can be a little bit overwhelming. But I love it. I wouldn't do anything else. There's nothing else I'd want to do.
Right. And, I mentioned earlier about, you and the sisterhood. The other great thing about you and I, we talked about this last year, Ms. Mills, when you were on the program, is the generation that you're encouraging. For one thing, not only by the life that you've been able to live and, the career you've been able to have, but the way that you live it. I mean, talk to us about that. What has it been like for you to hear from artists that say they're inspired by you and that you are an example for them as to what's possible?
I don't consider myself a role model in any way, because Lord knows I've had my trials and my tribulations. But I've always tried to get out of them and maneuver my way through them with ease. But I appreciate people looking at me, and I guess they look at me because I've survived. I'm still able to sing my songs in the same key. I've kept my weight down. I'm somewhat in my right mind. So I think, and that's very hard to do, because you have so many people sometimes around you that you trust who betray that trust. And I think a lot of times as entertainers we can't handle it, because you trust people, you love people to do the best for you, and then they betray you. And that's a hard thing to get through. And I think Michael died. I think he died of a broken heart, of betrayal. I think Whitney, I think Prince. I think a lot of them, it had more to do with when people take drugs or substances like that, they're trying to deaden a feeling in them, I believe. And it comes from being betrayed.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you, I mean, you mentioned, your voice. I mean, and that is one of the things that people always talk about, is that voice. And the fact that you have been able to also, I think show people through that voice, how we can use our talents in a great way. And I think when you say, this is what you've been given, I think you definitely have handled that gift so well. So, when it comes to events like what we're gearing up for this Saturday, as I mentioned, the Night of Classic R&B, when people come out to see you, and we're going to give them the details about this, I mean, what do you hope they take away from the performance this Saturday?
Happiness, love. I hope they leave feeling good and happy, and I hope that feeling lasts till the end of the year. When I go out on stage, I give them everything I have. I give them 100%. I leave it all on the stage and giving them. So the one thing I hope they leave from my show is feeling good and feeling like they've been loved, just kissed all over.
Yeah. Well, what a great thing. So definitely we invite you all to be a part of this. Again, it's Saturday, September the 30th, a night of classic R&B starring Stephanie Mills, Debarge, and Stokley from Mint Condition. You definitely don't want to miss it.
Yes.
Again, at Wolf Creek Amphitheater. That's 3025 Merck Road in Atlanta, Georgia. Make sure you all know that at this event, not only is there free parking, but you can bring your own food and drinks. Everything begins at 7 p.m., so make sure you all come there ready to have a good time and to feel the love that Ms. Mills talked about. As you heard her say earlier, make sure you all are staying connected with her on social media. You can find her at I Am Stephanie Mills, both on Twitter as well as on Instagram, so make sure you all are following her there. Ms. Mills, once again, it was a pleasure and an honor to have you back on with us, and wishing you nothing but the best and continued blessings, and looking forward to our next conversation together.
Yes, and you take care.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Ms. Mills. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You will make it a great one.